Imagine this. You're deeply in love with him. You give him everything, yet he still won't claim you. He enjoys your company, but when it comes to commitment, he hesitates. You wonder, why won't he take that next step? What if I told you there's a way to shift the dynamic, to make him see you as the one he can't live without? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do to make him claim you without begging, without games, and without losing yourself in the process. Men think differently from women when it comes to love and commitment. It's not about how much they like you, it's about how they perceive you. A man won't commit just because you love him deeply. He commits when he sees you as irreplaceable. But what makes a woman irreplaceable in his eyes? That's exactly what we're going to uncover today. You'll learn the psychology behind a man's attachment, the secret signals that trigger his need to claim you, and the biggest mistakes women make that push men away. These are not just surface level dating tips. We're diving deep into hidden patterns of male behavior, things most women don't even realize they're doing wrong. By the time we're done, you'll understand how to create an energy that pulls him toward you naturally. And here's something that might surprise you. Men don't actually fear commitment. What they fear is losing their sense of freedom. That's why chasing him, overgiving, or constantly seeking validation backfires. The more effort you put into proving your worth, the less he feels the need to claim you. But when you flip the script, when you subtly shift your energy and presence, you activate his natural desire to secure you before someone else does. So, how do you do it? How do you step into your power and make him choose you, not just as a partner, but as the woman he wants to commit to for life? Stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to share will transform the way you handle relationships forever. Welcome to Fatal Name, where we unlock the secrets of love, attraction, and manifestation. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on powerful insights like these. Now, let's get started. Men are wired differently when it comes to relationships. While women often feel closer through constant connection, men need space to process their emotions and build their desire. It may seem counterintuitive, but giving a man space can actually draw him closer. When a man feels like he has the freedom to breathe, he begins to appreciate your presence more. He starts to realize that he wants to be with you, not because he has to, but because he chooses to. The truth is, when you're always available, always reaching out, and always making plans, he doesn't get the chance to miss you. And missing you is what creates the deep emotional pull that makes him crave your presence. Think about it. People value what they have to earn. If you remove that process, if you're always there before he even realizes he needs you, he won't feel the urgency to claim you. Instead, he will start to take your presence for granted, not out of malice, but simply because human nature responds to scarcity. This is where the power of space comes in. When you step back, you create a gap that he naturally wants to fill. He starts wondering about you, what you're doing, who you're with, what's on your mind. That curiosity builds emotional investment. It's the same reason why people chase after what seems slightly out of reach. The moment he feels like he has to work to earn your time, his perspective shifts. He no longer sees you as someone he can just access whenever he wants. He starts to see you as someone he wants to win over. Men don't articulate their emotions the same way women do. Instead of talking about feelings, they process them internally. This is why space is so crucial. It gives him the opportunity to realize his emotions on his own, rather than being forced into them. When a man is constantly surrounded by someone, he doesn't get the time to think about what he truly wants. But when he has the room to breathe, he can reflect on his feelings without pressure. And that reflection often leads him to the realization that life without you feels incomplete. Many women make the mistake of thinking that pulling back means ignoring him or playing games. That's not what this is about. It's about living your life in a way that shows you are whole and fulfilled on your own. A woman who is deeply engaged in her passions, friendships, and goals naturally creates an air of independence that is magnetic. Men are drawn to women who have a life beyond them. It signals confidence, self-worth, and high value. When a man sees that you are not constantly revolving around him, He starts to admire you on a deeper level. He sees that you're a person with depth, not just someone waiting for his attention. And that realization makes him want to step up. It makes him want to claim his place in your life before someone else does. Think about the early days of dating, the excitement, the anticipation, the thrill of not knowing what's next. That energy fades when things become too predictable. But when you give space, you recreate that mystery. He starts wondering what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what he can do to get closer to you. That curiosity makes him pursue you. And when a man feels like he's actively choosing you, his commitment becomes much stronger. A man who is truly interested will always come back when given space. And when he does, he will come back with a greater sense of appreciation for what you bring into his life. The key is trusting that distance doesn't mean disconnection. It means giving the relationship room to grow. Communication is the foundation of any strong relationship, yet it's often the place where many couples struggle. When it comes to commitment, men don't always express their emotions the same way women do. They might show love through actions rather than words, leaving room for misunderstandings. This is why open and honest communication is essential. It bridges the gap between what you feel and what he understands. Many women hesitate to speak openly about their feelings because they fear pushing a man away. They worry that bringing up serious topics might make him feel pressured. But the truth is, when done correctly, communication strengthens the connection rather than weakens it. A man will not commit simply because you love him. He will commit because he feels a deep emotional connection that gives him clarity about your role in his life. That clarity comes through understanding, and understanding only happens when there is open dialogue. The key to effective communication is to create a safe space where both of you can express yourselves without fear of judgment or conflict. This doesn't mean forcing deep conversations at the wrong time or constantly asking where the relationship is headed. Instead, it means setting the tone for natural, honest discussions that allow both of you to feel seen and heard. When a man feels safe to express his emotions without feeling like he's being cornered, he becomes more open. He starts to share his thoughts, his fears, and his dreams. And when he does, he forms a stronger emotional bond with you. One of the most powerful ways to communicate openly is to talk about expectations early on. Many relationships fall apart not because love is missing, but because expectations are misaligned. You might be thinking long term while he's just enjoying the present moment, or you might assume that things are fine as they are while you're waiting for him to take the next step. These differences don't have to lead to conflict, but they do need to be discussed. The best way to approach this is with curiosity rather than demand. Instead of asking, "Where is this going?" try saying, "I really value what we have. How do you see this relationship growing?" This shifts the conversation from pressure to exploration. It invites him to open up about his own vision rather than feeling like he's being tested. And if his vision doesn't match yours, you have the clarity to make choices that align with your own happiness. Another important part of open communication is learning how to express your needs without fear. Many women suppress their desires because they don't want to seem needy. They ignore what they truly want in hopes that their partner will eventually figure it out. But men are not mind readers. If something matters to you, he needs to hear it from you, not through hints, not through passive aggressive comments, but through clear and loving communication. For example, if you need more quality time together, instead of saying, "You never spend enough time with me," try saying, "I feel closest to you when we have uninterrupted time together. I would love to have more of that." This small shift in wording makes a huge difference. It focuses on connection rather than blame, making him more likely to respond positively. Likewise, it's just as important to encourage him to express his needs. Some men hold back on sharing their emotions because they've been conditioned to believe that vulnerability is weakness. But when you create a space where he feels safe to open up, he begins to trust you on a deeper level. He sees you as someone who understands him, and that understanding is what strengthens his desire to commit. A relationship built on unspoken assumptions is a fragile one, but a relationship where both partners communicate openly is built to last. When you talk honestly about your feelings, your needs, and your expectations, you eliminate confusion. You give both of you the clarity needed to move forward with confidence. And in that clarity, love deepens, trust grows, and commitment becomes a natural next step. Men, just like women, crave appreciation. They may not always say it, but deep down, they want to feel valued for who they are and what they do. When a man feels appreciated, he feels seen. He feels like his efforts matter, like his presence in your life makes a difference. And that feeling is what makes him want to stay, protect, and commit. Many women assume that men don't need as much verbal affirmation as they do, but the truth is, men thrive on recognition. They may not express emotions in the same way, but they feel deeply. A simple acknowledgement of his efforts can fuel his desire to be even more present in the relationship. It reassures him that he is doing something right, that his love and care are noticed. Think about it. When someone appreciates you, don't you naturally want to do more for them? That's exactly how men operate. When they feel valued, they step up even more. They become more attentive, more loving, and more committed. But when their efforts go unnoticed, they may withdraw. Not because they don't care, but because they start to feel like what they do doesn't make a difference. Appreciation doesn't have to be grand or exaggerated. It's often the small, everyday moments that matter the most. A simple thank you when he fixes something for you, a warm smile when he does something thoughtful, or even a message letting him know how much you appreciate his presence in your life. It all adds up. For instance, if he surprises you with coffee in the morning, instead of just taking it, you can say, "I love that you thought of me. You always know how to make my day better." This makes him feel like his gesture was worth it, and he'll naturally want to keep doing more. If he supports you through a difficult time, don't just assume he knows how much it meant to you. Tell him. Say something like, "I don't know what I would do without you. Your support means everything to me." Those words stick with him. They make him feel valued in a way that goes beyond the surface. Men also love when their character is appreciated, not just their actions. Compliment his qualities, the way he handles challenges, the way he treats others, or the way he makes you feel safe. Say things like, "I admire how patient you are," or "Your kindness is one of my favorite things about you." These words build his confidence, and a confident man is a man who feels secure in a relationship. Sometimes appreciation isn't even about words. Actions can be just as powerful. A warm hug when he least expects it, holding his hand in public, or simply looking into his eyes with genuine gratitude. These small things speak volumes. They show him that he is cherished, not just as a provider or a partner, but as a person. Another way to show appreciation is by remembering the little things that matter to him. If he has a big presentation coming up, wish him luck. If he mentioned his favorite meal once, surprise him by making it. These gestures tell him, "I see you, I listen to you, you matter to me." And that feeling of being truly seen is what deepens his connection with you. The biggest mistake some women make is assuming that appreciation should only be given when a man does something big. But true appreciation is found in the everyday moments. It's in recognizing his efforts, no matter how small. When a man feels appreciated in a relationship, he feels at home. He feels like he is with someone who truly understands his worth. And when a man feels that way, commitment isn't a question, it's a choice he willingly makes. Trust is the foundation of any lasting relationship. Without it, no matter how strong the attraction or how deep the connection feels, doubts will begin to creep in. Trust is what allows a man to feel safe enough to open his heart fully. It gives him the confidence that he's in a relationship where he can be himself without fear of betrayal or judgment. When a man truly trusts you, commitment becomes effortless because he sees you as someone he can build his life with. Building trust takes time, but every small action matters. One of the most powerful ways to establish trust is through consistency. When your words match your actions, he starts to believe in your reliability. If you say you'll do something, follow through. If you make a promise, keep it. It's in these everyday moments that trust is either strengthened or weakened. Honesty is another key factor in building trust. Many people avoid difficult conversations because they fear conflict, but honesty creates security. When you communicate openly, even about uncomfortable topics, he sees that you're willing to be real with him. This makes him feel safe to do the same with you. Being truthful doesn't mean being harsh. It means expressing yourself with kindness and clarity. If something bothers you, address it directly rather than letting resentment build. If you make a mistake, own up to it instead of making excuses. These small moments of honesty reinforce that you are a person of integrity. Trust is also built through emotional security. A man wants to know that he can share his thoughts, fears, and dreams without being judged. Many men are taught from a young age to hide their vulnerabilities, so when they do open up, they need reassurance that they won't regret it. This means listening without interrupting, validating his emotions, and not using his insecurities against him in an argument. When he feels emotionally safe with you, he trusts you on a deeper level. Another important part of trust is dependability. Life is unpredictable and everyone faces moments of struggle. A man will naturally trust a woman who stands by him through both the good times and the bad. If he knows that you're there for him when he's stressed, uncertain, or facing challenges, he will feel more secure in the relationship. This doesn't mean solving his problems for him, but rather offering encouragement, understanding, and emotional support. Respecting his boundaries is another way to strengthen trust. Everyone needs space sometimes, and a relationship built on trust allows both partners to maintain their individuality. If he feels like he can express his need for alone time without you becoming insecure or upset, it shows him that you trust him too. Trust is a two-way street. It's not just about him trusting you, but also about you showing him that you believe in his loyalty and intentions. Avoiding unnecessary jealousy also plays a role in maintaining trust. It's natural to feel insecure at times, but constantly questioning his actions or accusing him of things without reason can erode the trust you've built. Instead, focus on reinforcing the connection between you. When a man feels deeply connected to you, he has no reason to look elsewhere. Trusting him fully allows him to relax into the relationship rather than feeling like he has to prove himself constantly. Another crucial aspect of trust is keeping private matters private. In a world where people often overshare personal details with friends, family, or social media, it's essential to protect the intimacy of your relationship. If he confides in you, don't share it with others. If you have disagreements, work them out together instead of seeking validation from others. This teaches him that what happens between you stays between you, which makes him feel even safer with you. Building trust is not about being perfect, it's about being real, reliable, and consistent. It's in the little things, showing up when you say you will, being honest even when it's difficult, and making sure your actions align with your words. When a man feels that he can trust you completely, he will naturally feel more drawn to you. Trust removes doubts, eliminates fear, and strengthens emotional bonds. And once that foundation is solid, everything else in the relationship becomes stronger. A strong relationship is built on love, trust, and mutual respect. But it also requires space for personal growth. Encouraging a man's independence is one of the most powerful ways to deepen his commitment to you. When he feels free to be himself, to pursue his passions, and to maintain his friendships, he will associate the relationship with happiness and security rather than restriction. The healthiest relationships are not about control, but about balance, where two individuals come together as partners, not as possessions. Supporting his personal interests shows that you respect him as an individual. Every person has hobbies, dreams, and pursuits that make them feel alive. Whether it's sports, music, business, or any other passion, these activities contribute to his sense of identity. When you encourage him to invest in what he loves, he sees that you appreciate him for who he truly is. This in turn strengthens his emotional connection to you because he feels understood and supported. Friendships are also a crucial part of a man's independence. Just as you need your own social circle, he needs time with his friends. Many women make the mistake of expecting their partner to spend all their free time with them, but this can create a feeling of suffocation. Giving him space to enjoy time with his friends without guilt allows him to recharge and return to the relationship with even more appreciation for you. When he knows he can have both a fulfilling relationship and a strong social life, he will see you as someone who truly enhances his life rather than limits it. A man who feels independent in his relationship is more likely to stay committed long term. A self like this is more likely to stay committed long term. This might seem counterintuitive, but the reality is that people don't like feeling trapped. If a man starts to feel that he has to give up his freedom to be with someone, he may begin to withdraw emotionally. On the other hand, when he sees that his independence is valued, he will be drawn even closer to you. He will choose to spend time with you not because he feels obligated, but because he genuinely enjoys being with you. Encouraging his independence also means trusting him. Insecurity and constant checking in can create tension, making him feel like he's being monitored rather than loved. Trusting him enough to let him have his own experiences without questioning his every move strengthens your bond. When a man feels trusted, he feels respected. And when he feels respected, he will naturally respect you in return. This balance of independence and togetherness creates a dynamic where both partners continue to grow. Instead of losing yourselves in the relationship, you both maintain your individuality, which keeps the connection fresh and exciting. There is nothing more attractive than a woman who has her own passions, her own goals, and her own fulfilling life. When you support his independence, you also set an example for him to do the same for you. A relationship where both partners have the freedom to be themselves is one that lasts. Encouraging his independence is not about pushing him away. It's about creating a space where he feels safe to be himself while still choosing to be with you. And when he feels that kind of freedom, he will never want to leave. Ultimatums might seem like a quick way to get a man to commit, but they often have the opposite effect. When a man feels pressured, he may agree in the moment, but deep inside, he will feel trapped. A relationship should be built on mutual desire, not on fear or obligation. If he feels like he is being forced into a decision, he may start to pull away, questioning whether he is making a choice out of love or simply to avoid conflict. True commitment happens when a man wants to be with you, not when he feels like he has no other option. Instead of using ultimatums, focus on creating an environment where commitment happens naturally. A relationship should be a space of joy, peace, and emotional security. When a man feels that being with you makes his life better, he won't need to be pressured into staying. He will choose to be with you because he feels fulfilled, respected, and valued. The key is to build a bond so strong that he sees commitment as something he wants, not something he has to do. One of the reasons ultimatums backfire is that they come from a place of fear. When a woman says, commit or I'm leaving, she is trying to control the situation, but love is not about control. A man should commit because he genuinely wants to, not because he is afraid of losing you. When you try to force an outcome, you remove his ability to make the choice freely. And when he doesn't feel like he has a choice, resentment can build. Even if he stays, he may start feeling like he was pushed into something he wasn't ready for. The best way to encourage commitment is to focus on the quality of the relationship itself. Ask yourself, is he happy when he's with me? Do we have fun together? Do we communicate openly and honestly? When a man feels at ease in the relationship, he will naturally think about the future with you. Commitment isn't something you have to demand, it's something that grows over time when the connection is deep and fulfilling. Another important thing to remember is that men commit at their own pace. While women often think about long-term relationships early on, men sometimes take longer to process their emotions. If you try to rush him into a decision, he may feel overwhelmed and step back. Instead of pushing him, trust the process. If he cares about you and enjoys being with you, he will eventually want to commit because he won't want to risk losing you. A more effective approach than giving ultimatums is setting standards for yourself. Instead of demanding that he commit, focus on what you will and will not accept in a relationship. Let your actions speak louder than words. If he sees that you are a woman who values herself and won't settle for less than she deserves, he will step up on his own. If he doesn't, then he wasn't the right one for you anyway. Creating a relationship that naturally leads to commitment also means focusing on positive energy. If every conversation is about where the relationship is going or why he isn't committing fast enough, he may start to feel like the relationship is a source of stress rather than happiness. Instead, bring fun, laughter, and excitement into the relationship. When he associates you with joy, he will want to keep you in his life for the long term. At the end of the day, the strongest relationships are based on freedom, not pressure. When a man feels free to choose you, his commitment will be genuine and lasting. Focus on creating a love that he wouldn't want to walk away from, not because he's afraid to lose you, but because he knows his life is better with you in it. In a world where people often try to fit into certain molds to be liked or accepted, authenticity stands out. Being true to yourself is one of the most powerful ways to create a deep and lasting connection with a man. When you embrace who you are without pretending or trying to be what you think he wants, you allow real love to grow. A relationship built on authenticity is strong because it is based on truth, not illusion. Many women make the mistake of adjusting their personalities, interests, or opinions to match what they think a man wants. They hide certain parts of themselves, agree to things they don't truly believe in, or suppress their needs in fear of being rejected. But the problem with this is that it creates a false foundation. Sooner or later, the mask will slip, and the real self will emerge. If the relationship was built on pretense, it won't be able to withstand the truth. Authenticity, on the other hand, fosters trust. When a man knows that you are always being real with him, he feels safe opening up to you. He doesn't have to wonder if you're saying something just to please him or if you truly mean it. This level of honesty strengthens the emotional bond and creates a space where both of you can be vulnerable without fear. A deep connection isn't formed through perfection. It's formed through raw, honest, and sincere interactions. Being authentic also means embracing your strengths and weaknesses. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. In fact, perfection is not what attracts a man, it's your realness. When you allow him to see your true self, including your flaws, he feels more comfortable being himself around you. This mutual authenticity creates a relationship where both partners feel fully accepted. A confident woman who embraces her true self is incredibly attractive. Confidence doesn't come from trying to be someone else. It comes from knowing who you are and standing by it. When you love yourself as you are, without needing external validation, you naturally draw others toward you. A man will admire and respect a woman who is comfortable in her own skin, someone who doesn't need to play games or put on an act to win his attention. Authenticity also means expressing your true emotions. If something makes you happy, show it. If something bothers you, communicate it honestly. Many women suppress their feelings to avoid conflict, but this only leads to resentment over time. A relationship thrives when both partners can express themselves openly without fear of judgment or rejection. The more real you are, the deeper the emotional connection becomes. Being yourself also allows you to attract the right person. If you pretend to be someone you're not, you may end up with someone who doesn't truly match your values, interests, or personality. But when you are completely authentic, the right person will be drawn to you for who you truly are. This creates a much stronger, more fulfilling relationship because it's built on genuine compatibility. Another important aspect of authenticity is staying true to your boundaries. If something doesn't align with your values, don't be afraid to stand your ground. A man will respect a woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve her. When you compromise your true self for the sake of keeping a relationship, you may end up feeling lost and unhappy. But when you stay true to who you are, you attract a partner who respects and appreciates you for it. At its core, authenticity is about being honest, open, and unapologetically yourself. It creates a relationship based on truth, trust, and deep emotional connection. A man may be initially drawn to looks or charm, but what makes him stay is the real person behind it all. When you embrace your authentic self, you invite the kind of love that is genuine, strong, and built to last. Building a deep, lasting connection isn't about tricks or pressure. It's about creating a relationship that feels natural, safe, and fulfilling for both of you. We've explored key strategies from giving him space and communicating openly to showing appreciation, maintaining trust, and staying true to yourself. Each of these steps helps build a strong foundation where love and commitment can grow effortlessly. Remember, patience and understanding are essential. True commitment happens when a man feels a genuine emotional bond, not when he is pressured into it. Focus on being the best version of yourself and nurturing the relationship in a way that feels right for both of you. When you create a space of trust, respect, and authenticity, the right man will naturally claim you as his own. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more insights on love and relationships. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.